How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be looking at an interview that was recently posted for Zenless Zone Zero. And with this interview, we actually got to look at a bunch of different questions that they were asked. And not only that, there's apparently a new mode coming already, and also additional platforms that Hoyoverse hasn't brought to any of the Hoyoverse games when it comes to Honkai Impact, when it comes to Genshin Impact, and same thing with Honkai Star Rail, because they're looking to put them on additional platforms. So this is actually very interesting to see that Zenless is taking this opportunity to probably get further into the space and have it become more mainstream than any other Hoyoverse game. So we'll definitely have to see how this is going to work out. But let's go ahead and get straight into the interview. And before we get into all that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, all that different type of stuff if you're excited for Zenless, because I cannot be more excited for when it comes out on July 4th. We are going to be playing that game, recording, streaming, all that different type of stuff. So make sure you leave a like, sub, comment, all that different type of stuff if you're excited. But of course, let's go ahead and get into the first question, which is going to be, is Zenless Zone Zero team using generative AI in development, or is it planning to? And this is a very touchy topic. A lot of people are talking about this, that they really don't want to support games or support content that is using AI for the most part. Of course, if it's unethically used, which is like taking people's art, trying to base stuff off of others' art without permission. That is the main thing a lot of people are worried about. And right now, Zenless is saying, I think that the human touch is more meaningful right now, and this is what our team is pursuing, which 100% is a really good answer for them. I think where they're at right now with the character designs and also the future characters that we're seeing, a lot of the art style choices and the music as well has been absolutely amazing from CBT2 to CBT3, and I cannot wait for live release and future patches going forward. So they're doing such a great job. I love it so much. Today, no, Lee said, for the art part, we have not tried it. We have tried a part of it to touch on the programming. As the art aspect, I think the human touch is more meaningful right now, and this is what our team is pursuing. So it seems like they're using AI in, of course, the application standpoint with coding and anything in debugging. But when it comes to art, they do not want to touch that for right now. And I really like it because the way they are handling Zenless Zone Zero with their art style, they have a very unique, I guess you could say, demographic, or very unique touch to it that hasn't been seen in any other Hoyoverse games, which is actually really good for them. Lee also explained that when developing these characters, the aesthetics came first early on, which they're beautiful. I love their character designs. However, that changed as development progressed. The planning team responsible for character mechanics and the art team now work closely together to create new characters. This is actually really good, that the synergy between the people working on the combat and the people working on the character design and how they look, how they feel, all that different type of stuff, that they're closely connected to each other, because this allows for the characters in the game to feel a little bit more organic when it comes to how they fight, how they feel, how they talk, all the different type of stuff when they're fighting. It's actually a really good I can say answer or insight that we see that Zenless is showing us. And then going into the next one is the Zenless Zone Zero team and collaboration. Development team behind Hoyoverse Massive Games has largely been a mystery, though Lee offers some context on how the ZZ team behind that handmade art came to be. Lee said that it began with only 12 people in its initial demo stages in 2020 before growing to around 60 people during its first closed beta, and now it ballooned to more than 400 team members. This is actually really cool to see that they are growing and growing as time is going by, and they are, I guess you could say, being recognized when it comes to the spotlight of this game actually is going to be a big project for them. And I'm very glad this is the case. I'm very glad they went through with it, because this game has been absolutely amazing every single time I played it, and they've been listening to feedback since CBT2 to CBT3, because I know I saw a comment that said, oh, people can't wait to play a TV simulator game, when in all honesty they cut massively, and I mean super massively, from CBT2 to CBT3 when it came to the TV portion of the game, and it's basically just all combat for the most part after you get past the tutorial. So it's a really good thing. Zenless Zone Zero's development team is very young, and a lot of us come from different backgrounds. Always good to hear. Lee said, we have veterans from the gaming industry, but also young talents who share the same values and are all passionate about getting involved in the creation of an interesting product. Indeed, some team members, including myself, had experience working on Hoyoverse's other projects before. Take me for instance, I used to take care of the CG, animation, and video for Honkai Impact 3rd. Oh shit! Okay, now I'm very excited. The fact that this person worked on the CG, animation, and video for Honkai Impact 3rd, something that a lot of people praise Hoyo for when it comes to how amazing those look and how good all the aspects of those are for Honkai Impact. I'm actually excited. with the quality that I've seen already from Zenless, I'm super excited to see even more and what they're going to be giving us. So this is actually really cool. I'm very glad that they shared this with us. I love this already. We clarified that the ZZ team only works on their project rather than swapping between other Hoyoverse properties, and the collaboration between the different games teams is quite rare. Oh wow, okay, that's kind of cool. So they make sure that their own thing, then they're not swapping in between, having resources swap from ZZZ to Star Rail, from Genshin to Impact Third. Is just straight ZZZ. So that's actually pretty cool in all honesty. Not that it doesn't exist, Lee said. I'll check with the teams for an advisor, such as for technical aspects. So he only really wants help if it's for something that is kind of crucial to the game, but not really in terms of design, how to use the game, or how to play the game, all that different type of stuff. I really like that they're having a lot of influence over their own project rather than external influences going on them. And speaking about influences, we have inspirations for Zenless Zone Zero. Lee acknowledged that the ZZ team received many comparisons to Persona 5, with both sharing a stylish city setting, though he said they're hoping to create something unique. That's actually really cool that they referenced Persona 5, which I did get that feel from. When you are playing the game and you're in the hub, but it feels really Persona-ish. And though there may be some visual and musical similarities, that is definitely heard. Their music in Zenless is really good in game. The heart of the game doesn't have its roots in Persona. Aside from the urban setting, one element that reminds Persona players like myself of Atlas series is ZZZ's time system that 100% came to every fan that's played Persona. That timing aspect of having it be morning, be in the afternoon, at nighttime, and certain events are only active during those times, 100% we saw that coming. Similar to Persona 5, ZZ has 4 points in the day with different activities available as time passes with mission completion and other triggers. Lee explained for inspiration for ZZ's time mechanic was actually instead from a much older game important to his childhood, which is Digimon World. That's actually pretty cool. The 1999 game also features a clock with specific events that happen at particular times throughout the day. The other inspiration was surprisingly Street Fighter 6, and the fighting game fan in me really likes this a lot that they took from this. Though ZZ is an action game more akin to DMC, which is cool that they even talk about Devil May Cry. Yo, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this game, that they're looking at all of these games and getting influenced by all these really cool games that I personally love, and that they're just like, here's our love letter to those games, basically. Oh, I cannot wait. It's more akin to DMC and not a fighting game. You can see the inspirations in its fast combat, emphasis on stunning enemies and chaining combos. Oh my god, I love that they're exclusively talking about this. Is real freaking cool. Zenless Zone Zero's development team is very young, and a lot of us come from different backgrounds. We read that already. Lee mentioned he spent thousands of hours in Street Fighter series and learned a lot about the feedback of its action and how each punch really feels it's on the flesh of only your own flesh. Lee said the ZZ team is trying to draw inspiration from their own combat and make each animation frame better. Ooh. Another major lesson Lee took from Street Fighter 6 was how to pace tutorials for newcomers to action games. This is actually a really important aspect to be able to have for a lot of the newcomers, because when you hear me and maybe some other content creators in the future, when we're talking about characters and the guides in them, we might be talking about combos, we might be talking about directions that are a little bit more advanced for most casuals, which I'll try to keep it dialed back when it comes to giving y'all the guides for that, because I know a lot of people aren't as advanced, but it can be overwhelming when you're going from a normal game like, let's say, Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact, where everything isn't as, I can say everything is streamlined, to ZZZ, where everything might be a little bit more in depth, a little bit more advanced from what you're usually used to seeing. So it's actually really cool to see that they're making sure that this is really good for newcomers. Pacing of all these mechanics have changed quite a lot between each of its closed betas. That is 100% true. And Lee said the planning team has tried to make sure all important tutorials are more spread out, not to be overwhelming, which is the overall good thing. You don't want to overload someone on straight tutorial information throughout the whole beginning of the game, because then they have too much information and becomes information overload. A potential future of Zenless Zone Zero, this is very exciting. When ZZ launches on July 4th, it will be available on PlayStation 5, mobile devices, and PC. But Lee said they're not stopping development there. They're working to bring ZZ to Nintendo Switch and Xbox too. Wow. The fact that they're trying to make it go to Nintendo Switch, which Genshin has tried, but they've seemingly scrapped that idea, and Xbox, this could potentially be Hoyoverse's biggest game. And the reason I say this is because it doesn't take too much time to play, and the fact that they're bringing in the Switch community, They're bringing in the Xbox community. These are two communities that were excluded from every other Hoyoverse game when it comes to Impact Third, when it comes to HSR, and same thing with Genshin Impact. This is actually a really big step that we are including all of the gaming community into this game, have a potential release for those two. Now the question is, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be releasing this at the same time as everybody else at the current moment. I'm pretty sure it's going to stay the way it is right now, and then similar to HSR, we'll bring in the new communities later down the line, and we'll have events catered to them to be able to catch up a bit and get some reruns in there as well, to make it a little bit easier for them to not feel like they missed everything upon release. So this is actually a big thing for Zenless Zone Zero and a big thing for Hoyoverse period, and I wonder if they're going to be taking this and applying it to every other game. For Honkai Impact, adding it to PlayStation, adding it to Xbox, for Nintendo Switch and Xbox, same thing for HSR, adding those platforms to there, and same thing with Genshin. That's actually really cool. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with that. That is a big update when it comes to what they're trying to do. And as a live service game, though, it's set in stone that ZZ will get content updates, of course, as the Hoyoverse cycle. Lee confirmed that there will be things like expansions to the city with new neighborhoods, shops, and of course, characters. Of course, we love to see it. We have a basic framework for the story timeline, but we're also a very flexible team. Lee said when asked of how far they've planned into ZZ's story, we constantly review that we've created in the past to see if we can continue to utilize it or if there would be better ideas and solutions. Okay, this is pretty cool. One international Hoyoverse fan requests for better representations in characters, especially in the Hoyoverse games that feature real-life inspirations of diverse cultures, yet neglect to reflect the people who live there. This was something big in Genshin when they went to Sumeru. A lot of people are very unhappy with the amount of, I guess you could say, the skin color of a lot of characters. This is a very controversial topic. I'm not going to get into it, but a lot of people were very mad at Sumeru because of how the characters looked in regards to it being referenced to a real life area. Steps to reflect these international audience have been taken to varying degrees, and ZZ's Amalgamation City provides fresh opportunity to do more. In Zenless Zone Zero, we've created a wide range of characters. When designing these characters, we would always consider what players haven't seen before. We want to ensure characters of various types are included so players can look forward to more imaginative designs that we will surprise them in the future. I think our team has added almost everything we wanted for the launch of the game and is ready for players. However, of course, we have plenty of interesting ideas and plans for the game in the future, which we will share more at the right time. One thing that is particularly that we want to share is that a multiplayer battle mode is already under development. I hope players can look forward to this mode in future version updates. What do they mean by that? What do they mean multiplayer battle mode is already under development? If they mean it's PvP, what in the world? I don't know how they would do that. And I really don't know what's going on in that sentence right there. But that has me very excited. Holy crap. If it goes the way I think it is PvP, but they have it in some way or fashion where it's just straight up, everyone has the same stats all aboard. Can you do better combos? Do you know how to punish stuff easier? Oh my, okay, that would be so cool. That would be so insane. But other than that, that's gonna be it for the rest of the video. Let me know what y'all guys think about Zenless Zone Zero. Let me know what y'all thought about this interview itself. I'm actually very excited from this interview, and it has a lot of really cool stuff in it that I did not expect. A lot of really cool things that they shared on insight behind the scenes for Zenless. This is really cool in my honest opinion. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.